Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. It's album review time. So we've got the band Find Me and the album Lightning in a Bottle. This is going to be released on Frontiers March the 11th. So thanks again, Frontiers, for sending me this early. 11 tracks, 44 minutes and 47 seconds long. It's the fourth album by this melodic rock AOR project, if you like. So let's talk about who's in this band and what they contribute towards this album. You've got the brilliant vocalist Robbie LeBlanc, absolutely amazing. You know, I'm quite new to Robbie's work, and probably leading up to this album, doing some reactions, just found out how powerful, passionate and just amazing his vocals are. They just sort of take this great album and just put it into the stratosphere. Just an amazing vocal performance by Robbie LeBlanc. I'm just blown away by his performance. Something about, even though this is basically an AOR melodic rock album, when you get a vocalist as good as Robbie LeBlanc, it just multiplies how good this album would be perhaps with another vocalist on. I'm not saying the songs, no detriment towards the songs whatsoever. It's a great album full of great songs, but the vocalist for me is probably the most important thing, to have a really great vocalist. And again, I'm going to take some examples of some albums already this year that have been propelled into something special because of a special vocalist. City of Lights being a great example, also on Frontiers. So joining Robbie LeBlanc is Daniel Flores, doing drums, bass, guitar and keys. What an amazing guitarist, well, all-round musician. There's some great guitar work on this, and again, I think I love this album more than a lot of AOR stuff that's out because of the guitar work. It's guitar driven, you know, it's not keyboard soaked. There are keyboards throughout this album, but the guitar is, there's so much of a focus on the guitar. That's what it, you know, that sort of makes the album better for me. Guitarist is amazing, the vocalist is amazing. You've got some other people helping out as well. You've got a guy called Johnny Trobro on the bass, Michael Palace on the guitar, and Rolf Staffen Pilotti. I think I'm pronouncing all those right, doing some keys. They're sort of guests on this album, but so the two main people are Robbie LeBlanc and Daniel Flores. So Alessandro Del Vecchio literally wrote all of these songs apart from one, which I'm going to get onto that song soon. And I've got to say, I think this is some of Alessandro Del Vecchio's best songwriting on this album. I mean, he's a great songwriter anyway, but I think on this album, he's really excelled himself. There's some great tunes on this album. So this is quality melodic rock stroke AOR, real classy stuff. You know what, this really sort of shoots out at me, this album. And there's another album that was released last year, sort of released worldwide this year, which I love, which I think is going to be, I feel similar about that album because of the musicians on it, and that's the Out of This World album. I feel the same sort of way about this melodic rock AOR album. It's a great addition to the Frontiers releases this year. There's a lot of energy in this. I think that sometimes lacks in some AOR and melodic rock. So it's sort of pumped up by that guitar, giving it more energy. So I love this album, and there's just so much amazing talent throughout this album. You're going to love this too. So I will run through my favourite tracks off this album like I always do. Track 1, the single Survive. So if you walk alone, nothing really stops the way. Now this was the first track I heard off this album. It's the first single that was released. It's an amazing track. Robbie LeBlanc's vocals just soar all over this great AOR track. The chorus is just brilliant. The lift you get in that chorus just lets you know undoubtedly it's the chorus. Some, you know, songs are lacking decent choruses these days. This album in general does not do that. Some amazing guitar work throughout, like there is throughout the album, and the solo is just mind-blowing. What a great start to the album. The next track I want to talk about is the only one that actually Alessandro Del Vecchio didn't write. This is a cover and it's called Far From Over, and it features a guy called Vince DiCola on the keys. Interesting story about this one. So this was on the Stayin' Alive soundtrack all them years ago. I remember seeing that film as a kid. Frank Stallone wrote this song together with Vince DiCola, so it's really cool that he's actually remade this with Find Me. This blows me away, this track. It's a more up-tempo track. This album really has some energy, and this track really does. It's one of the most energetic tracks. It's a great example of the energy we get across this album. It's so catchy. It's almost got a progressive rock instrumental section through the middle part of the song. This blew me away, this song. I didn't actually know when I first listened to it that it was a cover and the story behind it, but I read about that afterwards, and it's a standout track for sure. Far From Over is just amazing. Sail Away is the next track I want to talk about. It's probably a more straightforward AOR track this time than the first two, I would say, but the quality is just uplifted, as it is throughout this album, tenfold by the quality of the musicians across this song. A great AOR track. The next song I want to talk about is the ballad Back to You.
This is all I have to say. This is what we found again.
This is actually the latest single. Man, Robbie LeBlanc's vocal here with that piano just make you realise how strong his vocal is. Again, this may be the sort of ballad we hear, you know, from other bands or musicians or projects that is good, but it's literally the quality is pushed to the limit because of the vocalist and the guitaring. The next song I want to talk about is Distant Echoes. The music goes into a little harder edged rock here with a great heavy riff kicking this off. The chorus is brilliant as throughout the album. You know, it's just brilliant choruses all the way through this album. Some great technical playing on the guitar by Daniel Flores, and also on some of the rhythm playing as well. He's really busy on the guitar. I'm really impressed with his guitaring. The next song I want to talk about is the second single, Remember It's Me. So a great choice for a single, this one. Medium pace song, catchy, melodic, really accessible, I would say. You know, there are not many people that can listen to this song and say they don't like it. It's really easy to like. I think this track really sums up what we get here on the album altogether. Outstanding musicianship that just, you know, propels some great tracks to outstanding ones. So the next track I want to talk about is You and I. This is another ballad. I get some real Toto vibes here, and that's never a bad thing. This is such a smooth sounding track. Beautiful control on Robbie LeBlanc's vocal here. In that lower range, he just sounds absolutely fantastic. It's a great ballad. The next song I want to talk about is the last one on the album, called On the Run. This is a brilliant, classy AOR track to finish off. I feel like I get Survivor sort of vibes in this one. I love the way the verses start off with those synths and the band kick in sort of almost unexpectedly. And although I've mentioned the vocals countless times, I just want to say it blows my mind on this track. The heights that Robbie LeBlanc hits is just amazing. But he's got so much power with it. So there's not many vocalists that can hit that height with the power as well. He doesn't lose any strength in his voice whatsoever. Absolutely amazing album, guys. Find Me, Lightning in a Bottle. It's coming out on the 11th of March on Frontiers. I mean, this is a bit harder edged AOR for me. You know, you get some AOR that's just, like I said, synth driven. Guitars just not out there. This is definitely not the case on this. If you want a bit harder edged AOR, this is it. Really recommended, guys. Let me know if you're going to listen to this album or get this album in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.